And welcome everyone to Lyndhurst Community News. Today is Wednesday, July 9th. This is episode 94. Now, I hadn't done any news recently only because there really hasn't been much going on. And that's what happens in the summertime. You know, everything kind of comes to a standstill. School's out. People take their vacations. But the biggest thing, of course, is what's going to happen beginning tonight. And that is our annual Concerts Under the Stars alongside the Mount Carmel Feast, which I'm going to go through that with you so you all know, in case you don't know, what the lineup of the music will be this week. And that, of course, begins tonight. And a couple of other things to share with you, as well as some nice historic tidbits for the month of July, courtesy of Joe Cafone and his new book, Back to Lyndhurst, which is Joe's second book about Lyndhurst. He's done an amazing job. I'm sure you all know who he is. I'm sure you've all seen his sharings on Facebook. And many of you, I know, also have his first book, My Lyndhurst. It's incredible. It is the definitive history book of Lyndhurst. Joe did such a deep dive into so many things. And, and I would work with him and my brother as well, because he would reach out for clarification on certain things, especially if it had to do with our ancestors in town. And it's just an amazing book. It's on Amazon. I highly recommend you get it. But, all right. So let's see. So tonight, starting at 7 o'clock till 8:30 p.m., you have the group called Lights Out. It's a tribute group to Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, which should be good. At 9 o'clock till 10:30, you have American Soul. I would imagine it's soul music. Tomorrow night, Thursday, beginning at 7, you're going to have Super Trans Am, which is a super rock show. I'm sure it's just a cover of all bunch of 70s rock. Let's see here. 9 o'clock tomorrow night, you have Rubik's Cube, K-U-B-E, which is an awesome 80s band, from what I'm told. On Friday night, 7 o'clock, you have The Magic of Heart. And at 8:30 until 10:30, you have Stevie Mac, which is a Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks experience. Now, finally, on July 12th, Saturday, at 7 o'clock, it will be U2topia, which is a U2 tribute band. If you remember, U2 was a very, very popular band back in the 80s and into the 90s. And followed at 8:30 with Constantine Morales, which is American Idol finalist and Rock of Ages Tony Award nominee. He's going to be performing the hits of Rock of Ages. So that's the lineup. And don't forget, every night, concurrently, there is the Mount Carmel Feast. So there is plenty to do, plenty to eat, rides for the kids. You'll be meeting up with so many Lyndhurst folk. I mean, people who move away come back for this every year. So it's a great time to catch up with people. I will be volunteering. I'll be working at the Wine and Beer Garden if you want to stop in. And if you're an adult and you want to stop in, you have to be an adult to come in there. And, it's just going to be a great week. And it looks like the weather's pretty much going to help us out. Like tonight, they were calling for showers. Now I wake up this morning and I see that the rain is basically going to happen after we end tonight. So that'll be good. We don't want to raid on our feast, especially for the sake of the feast, because, that's a big moneymaker for the church. And as well, the church always gives money back to the town as well. So, remember, everything is free admission. I don't mean free at the feast, but the concerts are free. Bring your lawn chairs, bring a blanket, although I don't think you need one unless you want to lie on the ground, and family. And it's going to be a great night, and I think everyone, as always, will have a wonderful time. Now, one more thing you want to put on your calendar if you enjoy coming to the outdoor concerts. The Lyndhurst Police Emergency Squad is going to be having a summer concert featuring Shake, Rattle, and Soul. Now, that's going to be in August. That's going to be Wednesday, August 13th, right there in the park, right there at the bandstand, from 6:30 to 9:30. And also appearing will be another group called Park Avenue. So I'm not familiar with these bands, but I'm sure it's going to be great. So, again, bring your lawn chair, put that on your calendar. August 13th, and that's being sponsored by the Lyndhurst Police Emergency Squad. All right, and as I say, there's nothing else going on, nothing of any substantial nature, but here's some things, as I said, but Joe Cafone shared these on Facebook, and These are several Lyndhurst historical timeline events that all took place in the month of July. I'll leave it to Joe to come up with such intricate things such as this. All right, so 62 years ago, on July 1st, 1963, Lyndhurst acquired its zip code of 07071. I mean, those of you old enough to remember, there were no zip codes back then. That was before my time, but I knew about that, but that's when we got it, 07071, and we've been that ever since. All right, the next one is 89 years ago, on July 25th, 1936, is when the iconic Major's Bakery opened on Ridge Road. Now, I'm sure all of you remember Major's Bakery. If those of you who are new to town don't, that's the bakery right across the street from Sacred Heart Church. It's right now the Pattis Bakery. It doesn't look anything like, nor do they do what Major's used to do, but that's where it was located for years. All right, next is 99 years ago, on July 22nd, 1926, the Lyndhurst Yacht and Boat Club was first opened. Now, how many of you knew about that? Imagine we had a yacht and a boat club. Yes, we did, and it was located down on the Passaic River, which was very common in those days. A lot of people were out boating. So, yeah, that's we had a boat club. All right, and number 4. 111 years ago, on July 23rd, 1914, the Library Association of the Township of Lyndhurst was formed. That was 111 years ago. Wow. It's amazing. You know, when I look back at these dates, sometimes it doesn't hit me, but then other times I realize, my goodness, I said my family was here, even long before that, involved in the township, and, helping to get the town settled, basically, founded. It was Lyndhurst was mostly farms. It really wasn't anything like we know it today. I mean, as much as, and I'd love to go back and see what it looked like, but I really enjoy seeing old photographs from that day and age. I would just love it. In fact, my great-grandfather's, his first home is on the corner of Pennsylvania Avenue and Orient Way. That was built in 1905. That was his first home, and then later he helped found the Civility Club, which had become the Civility Club for many years. And in 1925, he moved around and built his house on New York Avenue in Furman Place, and it's still there. And his father's home was on Warren Street, which is where later on that home and all the other homes on that street were torn down when they built the Sacred Heart Social Center. Now, that house would have been built, in the 1880s, so that would be really old. And again, a little bit of info most people don't know is that there was no Kingsland station on Ridge Road at that time. Warren Street was the original train station, which is why they started living there. And it was the first stop when you got on the train. This was the country, because they were city folk. They came from Little Italy, Spring Street. They had a funeral home there, and they would come to Lyndhurst. It was their vacation place, and it was the country. So back then, you could swim in all the tributaries and all the streams. I know they used to swim in Berry's Creek. You could swim in the Passaic River. This was before all of the pollution and before all the garbage dumps. Now, of course, the Meadowlands is a shadow of what it used to be, but at least it's been cleaned, and the ecosystem down there that's returned over the years is truly spectacular. It's wonderful. But anyway, so that's the history there. I reached out to Joe to ask if he had anything else. I hadn't heard back from him by the time of this show, so I'm sure whatever else he passes along, I will share with you in the next episode. Okay, so that's probably the shortest episode we've ever had, and I'm going to be looking forward to the feasts and the concerts. I hope you all are too. Please come on down, bring friends, family, neighbors, let everybody know about it. In fact, there's a lot of people who are new to town that I have been, letting them know about this. They didn't know. They had no idea. They're not kind of plugged in. And that's why I always say Lyndhurst is such a great community. That's why it's so important for us to get to know our neighbors. There are many, many new people in town who don't know about Lyndhurst history, who don't know about all the goings-on and the great things, but they certainly appreciate it when you let them know. So that's my advice to you all, is to let everybody know about what goes on and what's going on this week so that they can enjoy it. That's what it's all about. So anyway, all right, folks, well, listen, have a wonderful, wonderful time at the feast for those of you going, and get to know your neighbors, as I say. Look after your elderly neighbors as well. Remember, a community is not its roads, its houses, or its buildings. It is its people. Lyndhurst has always been a great community. Let's keep it that way. It's safe, family-oriented, wonderful place. All right. I don't know when the next episode will be because there won't be much going on, but if anything does happen, I will let you know. Until then, this is Brian Haggerty saying God bless you and God bless Lyndhurst.